Welcome back. We're picking right back up where we left off with this 5x7 invitation. The first thing that you're going to need to do is make all of the tools that you need on a regular basis easily accessible. To do that, we're going to go to Window, Workspace, and select Advanced. This will change the layout to the right-hand column drastically and put all the essential tools that you need at the tips of your fingers. I already have created a bounding box for typography on my invitation, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that to show you how to do it from the start. The automatic default is to be on your direct select tool, which is this black arrow that you can get to with shortcuts V like Victor or by hitting the escape key if you're using the type tool. You also can select the icon here. I want to create type for my invitation, so I could hit the icon here for type, or I could hit T on my keyboard like Tango. I'm going to click and drag a bounding box for my typography inside the margins. I've just released it off of my mouse and I'm going to type the word invite. Now in this tutorial example, I'm only going to use Minion Pro. I highly recommend that you never use Minion Pro for portfolio piece because you want to show the future creative directors who will be your bosses that you understand type and have done research and have made meaningful decisions about your typography. It's very important. When I'm using my character tools, I have popped out the menu here. I can select a different type here in this menu. If I can use the filter selection, which is a cool feature to say if I only wanted to have something that was a sans serif or a slab serif, or maybe I want something that's handwritten specifically, I can filter for those options with a type that I have in my library. If I don't have the type that I want in my library, I can hit Find More and it will bring you to the Creative Cloud font suite that will allow you to explore different fonts, and this is a great tool to have at your disposal. They've got a lot of really good options that you can choose from that can help build your type library, and it's included in your Adobe Cloud subscription, so I highly recommend that you check it out. I will also at the same time precaution you that there is some silly and not necessary typefaces that are there that could get you in trouble if you use them frequently or in the wrong way or not as they were intended. Like some things are specifically great for children's invitations and you would not ever want to use it outside of that. But I'm going to challenge you to make intelligent decisions about your type use in all of the projects that you create, because we really want to make portfolio pieces even if the projects themselves seem simple. So I have my word invite. I would like to make the type size larger. Now my cursor is after the E here. If I was to just go in and say, let's make the type 60 points, nothing happened. If I was to continue typing, well, now I'm just typing in my leading selection. That does no one any good. So I'm going to escape out of there. And I'm going to use my keyboard as a shortcut and hit Command A, and that highlights all of the text in the bounding box that my cursor is in. And now I can come over and click back into my typography font size window and choose 60 as my point size. It automatically jumps you to the leading, and that's great when you're wanting to control the leading. I'm only going to have this word invite, and I will adjust the leading because I'm going to repeat the word invite. And I just want to remind you that we got the term leading from when we used hot metal type, and they put pieces of lead in between the lines of text to control the spacing in between the text. So if I'm going to highlight this entire line of the word invite. I'm going to hit my right arrow to get to the end of the line and hit return. And then I'm going to hit Command V like Victor, and I didn't hit Command C first. Command C, return, and Command V like Victor to copy that word. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. So return Command V, return Command V. I've now copied it enough times that you can't even see it happening anymore because I've exceeded the bounding box. And this you can get an indication of by this little red plus arrow over here in the bottom right hand corner of your bounding box. It's an alert saying, hey, you have type exceeding your bounding box, you're missing out on some information. There's a couple ways to resolve that. I'm going to, with my cursor in the text box, click escape on my keyboard, and that turns the bounding box back to blue. And I can double click on this. Oh, and it's still not allowing me to see everything. So I'm going to move the whole thing up and double click again on this little block. And now there's no more red plus sign, no more alert here. And I can see all of the times that I have copied the word invite. I think the spacing is too much here. It's not as dramatic as I would like it to be. So I could adjust the spacing by either making the type larger or decreasing my leading. And so let's try both. I'm going to hit, again, I hit Command A to select every word invite in this bounding box, all the text in the invite. And I'm going to select the leading over here to the right. And let's type in 60 and see what that looks like. I feel like the spacing is a lot better there, but what happens if I go 55? That works pretty well too. But now I don't have a dramatic cropping off of my page. I have an accident, or what looks like an accident, at the top of my page. So I think I need additional words copied underneath. Now if I just hit return Command V again, it's going to copy the previous leading setting that I copied, which is back to 72. So you can see the spacing here is a lot more than the spacing between these. So let's undo that. And I'm going to copy a new version of the word invite, Command C, bring my cursor by either clicking or using my right arrow to the end of the line, hit return and Command V, and there's another copy. Now I'm here in this juncture where I like the spacing all right, but even if I added another word invite, it would fall below and it doesn't create this creative and exciting crop on my word. So let me play with changing the type size. With the bounding box selected, I can adjust the type over here and it will adjust everything inside the bounding box. And you can see that we're starting to get a little bit more dramatic, but I'm still not getting like crazy crops. It's kind of bringing this word down a little bit. So maybe what I want to do now that I have jumped up to 75 points is adjust the leading a little bit more to give a little bit more space so that we get some what looks like it could be a dramatic crop. I have exit out. You can see that I'm on my direct select tool. So now I can pick this up and move it a little bit so that we get a inviting, see what I did there? An intentional looking crop on our words invite. Now I'm going to hit W on my keyboard. And this allows you, and click out of the bounding box, and this will allow you to see the effect that we just created on our invite using the character tool and adjusting our type size and the leading. That's all for now. See you in the next video.